Hello, my friends. Welcome back. Today we are going to work on planting some of those goodies that I grabbed at the Seattle Tilth edible plant sale. And if you missed that video, go watch it. It's a good time. You can watch me go absolutely bananas with almost no self-control. No, I did exercise some self-control, but let me turn you around real quick and I'm going to review all of those items that I purchased. It's very exciting. So I'm focusing on the upper kind of parterre style garden that we've got going on. So some of these are going to go up here, some of these are going to go in another area of the garden, but I'm getting my shiso in. This is some red shiso. Super excited about that. I also have some green shiso. That's going to go in up here. I also have some stevia. I like to keep my herbs up here so they're close to the kitchen when I'm cooking. Haven't decided yet about my scented geraniums. I think these might go up here. This is my new collection of heirloom chrysanthemums. Holy cow, I kind of feel like this needs to be a whole nother video. I am going to be, the guys were so awesome. They showed me how to pinch out the center, and so I'm going to try rooting some of my own cuttings. And then down here we have, oh, this is the purplette. These are gonna go in the upper garden. So I'm gonna stick these over here. And then tons of tomatoes. Some of these are gonna go up here. Some of them are gonna go in the lower garden. My basil is gonna go up here. So let's for sure get that in that pile. And then over here, this is just a giant collection of tomatoes, tomatillos, a couple peppers in there. And like I said, I haven't fully decided what I'm gonna do with all of my tomatoes just yet. That's hotly debated here in this household. More purplette onions. I'm gonna put those up here. Oh, these are the Tromoncino. One of you lovely viewers have grown this before and said it is amazing. So I think this one is gonna go up here on the giant arch. So lay those guys over there. And then last but not least, I have a few more basils and, oh gosh, did I grab 2 red shisos? What? I did. Oh my God, I grabbed 2. You guys. Okay, I thought I only grabbed 2, one for me and one for my client. Turns out I grabbed 3. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and take the rest of these shiso, the rest of my basils. I've got Tulsi holy basil. I make this into tea. It's really, really lovely. I have African blue, which I'm so super duper excited about. And then a classic. I just can't get enough. This is Genovese. It is, according to Mario, my Italian neighbor, the best and most wonderful basil you will ever use for pesto, and it is the only one you can use to make a proper pesto. And then I've got another scented geranium here. This one may go up here, and then look at this. Okay, this is, let me grab the tag. This is an Alexandria. It's a little alpine strawberry. This is one of those sweet little snacking elements that I love to add to the garden. I already have pineapple tomato or pineapple strawberries, so I think I may add these ones up here as well. And they're super duper cute and just massive producers. So here we are, all of the little goodies. And then over here is the little bitty bunch that are gonna go up here in the parterre formal garden. But first I'm gonna need to pop out because I'm out of compost and earthworm castings. Oh, and then I do have to show you this. This is the damage from those monster bunnies. I'm so irritated at them. So over behind on the wall, you can see where I've sprinkled more rabbit repellent. So frustrating. They're getting into the garden again. And then down here, check this out. As soon as I get back from the nursery, I'm gonna harvest these bad boys. These are my French breakfast radishes and they are massive. Before I go, I'm gonna share something with you. I think it is only appropriate that I be very real in this garden. I've had an insane week. I installed something like upwards of 50 containers and I was pooped, and I tried to stay on top of my watering. You know, when you get little starts like this and the temperatures come up really quickly, you gotta stay on top of it. Well, I thought I did, and then I realized my Osman basil, she did not get hit. I don't know how I missed this, but it's just not looking good. However, there is still a little bit of strength in the stem. So I gave it a really good soak, poured out all of the extra, and the stem is actually not like, see how there's just like a little bit of tension there? So what I may do, I may actually, I don't know if you can see this, I may cut right above this leaf pairing right here, maybe cut above this leaf pairing down here, and see if I can get the roots in good enough shape where they'll push out lateral growth. So when you have a plant like this, or you're doing cuttings, a lot of times when you're babying along a new root system, it won't have the strength to support a ton of leaves. So if I strip this down and I cut it short and give it some low-hanging fruit, my hope is that this will spring back to life. So you're gonna see me try that. And I think it's really, like I said, I think it's really important that I show realistic perspective of gardening. It's not just all like fancy stuff on YouTube. I think that's just a bunch of baloney. I always want to be really real about my successes, my failures, what has worked for me, what has not worked for me, because gardening is learning and gardening is sharing. Anyways, we are going to throw this little Osman basil in the ground. I'm going to give it my best, and we're just going to see what happens. Okay. They're actually, okay, I really want to get this giant fat one. Oh my God. Look at this thing. Look at the size of this radish. Okay, you guys, this is supposed to be one of those like baby French breakfast radishes. There is nothing baby about this little guy. Holy crackers. Oh my gosh. This thing is huge. The cherry bells are giant. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna clear out the French breakfast radishes. So cute. So I think I'm just gonna do the French breakfast because I think I wanna put the purple onions in here. Oh my gosh, look at this. Those are so gorgeous. Oh my gosh, these are so beautiful. They're like the perfect, like, I don't know, Beatrix Potter, like the little Peter Rabbit radishes, you know, that you would see in your children's books. So cute. Oh my gosh. These are so massive. Have you ever sauteed these or braised them in butter? They're so good. Oh my God, these are so huge. All right, so what I'm deciding to do is I'm gonna clear this whole section and get this middle part replanted. And the cherry bells, those ones are pretty much ready to go too. The Easter eggs need a little bit more time because they're further into the shade. But this will be plenty of room for us to get those purplettes up and running. Look at this. And to just give you an example, so this one right here, this is the French breakfast radish. It's cylindrical. It's got that sweet little white bottom, more of the red top. And then this is the cherry bell. I think this one is one of the most beautifully flavorful radishes that you can grow in the garden. One of my just perennial favorites. Friends, it's the beginning of May. We've gone from mid-60s, early 60s in Seattle. Lovely. It's my favorite weather. Mid-60s, sunny, chef's kiss, perfection. And we are just about at 80 degrees and Mama is hot. Mama is hot. You know, here's the deal. I'm just not a hot weather girl. I love cool temperatures. I love rain. Anyways, let's move on. We've just gotten back from the nursery. The sun is just blazing away and we have some goodies. As per usual, I have a little bit of fertilizer. I have compost. Every time I plant, compost, compost, compost. It just is the cure-all for everything that ails you and puts a lot of nutrients back into the soil. And as per usual, I do organic. And I think it's a good practice. If it's in your budget, go for it. So we are gonna start here. I have cleared out the radishes, which I am so happy about. And We are gonna start with my onions. This is the Parterre that I got at Tilth. And this is put out by a grower called Rent Stew Ranch. They're a little nursery. So we're just gonna get after it. Okay, I do have a little bit of mesclun mix that's just starting to come in there. So I'm gonna be conscious of that. But other than that, I'm just tossing in a couple handfuls of organic compost, rogue carrot, and a little bit of fertilizer. So with this Parterre onion, I'm going to treat this like a small, a little bit bigger than a scallion, not as big as a bulbing onion. So I'm gonna plant these probably 3 to 4 inches apart. I've used quite a bit of fertilizer, which is great. Onions are typically heavy feeders. And when I separate onions, you can see they seed them so very thickly in here. And so as per usual, I do my roll technique. So you take one hand, cup it ever so slightly, kind of like a little C, put that guy in there, take your other hand, put it on top, and then you literally just roll, applying a little bit of pressure, and you can see already these things are just popping off. And what it does is it just really easily detangles these roots. And then hold everybody up by the hairs, give them all a little shake, and then check this out. Like, so easy. Since this is a big 4-incher, I'm probably gonna do a couple rounds of this. I'm gonna pull off all of the outer stuff. Oh my gosh, separates like a dream. And then I'm gonna do, oh yeah, those ones are separating too. And then I'll go back in and I'll do this one with the same roll technique. These are already forming these adorable little bulbs. They're so stinking cute. Okay, I still have a super healthy chunk of these left over. So these I'm gonna plant out in the cut flower garden below. All right, in this little corner of the garden, I like to tuck little treasures that maybe don't need a whole lot of space. And so first in is a shiso. This is green shiso, perilla. This can actually take part sun. So this is why I've selected it for this area of my garden. And I think it'll be just kind of a sweet little element. I'm tucking the red shiso right in here. This is kind of a way to visually break up all of the green. I thought it would be kind of interesting. Same thing. Full sun to part sun. And back here, I have a little Genovese basil. There are actually 3 planted in here, so I might try to tease these apart and plant a little trio over here and let them get big and bushy. Oh, these are like so tight in here. All right, I'm gonna try this. But I'm gonna be left with the teeny tiniest little root structure. Ooh, okay, look at that. That's not terrible. Can't see what I'm doing because you're up so high. Okay, a little bit of a tough separation, but I was able to get quite a bit of roots as I pulled these apart. So I'm going to baby these, maybe even give them a little bit of liquid fertilizer, just so it's like a nice straight shot to these baby roots. And we'll see what happens. I mean, worst case scenario, one of them dies. Not a big deal. And as I plant this, okay, I'm gonna put it literally right on an emitter to make sure I get just maximum water right at that baby root system. And this one had just a little bit more root structure in place, so I'm not gonna stress about that one too much. I'm gonna tuck him a little further out here. Okay, cool. Yay! All right, excellent. 3 Genovese in. Alrighty, this herb right here, this is one called prunella. It's also referred to as heelzall. In my garden, I'm constantly experimenting with edibles, ornamentals, medicinal herbs. I just like to try things because you just really never know. There's so much ancient wisdom that is carried in plants. So am I using this right now? No, but I am experimenting with it. Right behind it, because prunella likes to go flat and kind of expand out, I know that if I can put this shiso back here, it'll get 2 feet tall and each of them will kind of respect each other's spaces. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to plant these sweet little tromboncino squashes. This was listed as a summer squash, but one of you lovely people left me a comment saying that you have grown this and you will actually grow it and enjoy it as a summer squash, but then wait until the skin hardens a little bit and you can store some of it as well, almost like a winter squash, which is awesome. I will probably, it seems like this is a heavy producer. I will probably only plant 2 and I will trellis them up the arch that we're going to put in here. This arch, by the way, is just a placeholder. It's too skinny. We want to put one in here that is between 20 and 24 inches and I'm going to run out and grab one probably this week, but it's getting hot, so I might as well throw these in the ground. Okay, and this is one that's just going to be super, super easy to divide. So literally I'm going to take it and I'm going to pull it in half. All right, next thing, I'm gonna plant a few more basils. I have the Genovese again because I want to make masses and masses of pesto and freeze it. So going hard on this one. I also have the African violet. Oh, one of you also commented that Kevin Espiritu from Epic Gardening really loves this variety as it attracts a lot of pollinators. So I thought that was very cool. And then I'm also gonna grow this one. Would you look at these chubby little leaves? Is he not so cute? I'm also gonna try to divide this guy in half because I got 2 babies in there. Yee, so cute, so cute, so cute. All right, you guys, here's the deal. I am never not a landscape designer. And for me, I think that all spaces need a hit of beauty. So you're gonna notice I've got green here, I'm breaking it up with red. I'm breaking it up with this little bit of African blue basil because we have a little bit of the purple here. I've got the green from these 2. And so for me, I want my spaces to all be just visual delights. So in any event, in case you're wondering how I'm deciding this, it's based on beauty and you can't stop me. This is like the best thing about transplanting basil is like, it smells so good. Okay, let's see what I can pull apart here. I wonder if I can get any of this apart. This is really planted close in here. Oh, that's not bad at all. Not bad. Oh my God, this is so satisfying. You guys, I gotta bring you in close for this one. Look at this. Oh, beautiful. Okay, you guys. In like 2 seconds, these are gonna be ready. I'm so excited. So my front yard garden is kind of a funny little place. It's so funny because earlier today, it started out the morning, sunny. Middle of the day, she goes deep shade. And then from about, I would say 3 o'clock onwards, it is blasted with sun. So it's actually kind of a fun place in terms of like successful gardening. This is actually a corner where I grew beautiful tomatoes and a pumpkin that trailed over the edge. So I have a lot of success in this corner, but it's when people typically see my garden and it's shaded, they don't understand how that's working. But this is why it's really important for you to get to know your garden and really actually track when things are in the sun and when things are in the shade. So we've got a couple different things going in here. This first one is actually stevia. I want to try some of this. It has been ages since I've grown stevia, but it's really a lovely sweetener and it's great for kids too. It's a great one for kids because I love to introduce things to kids that they can easily snack on in the garden, and this is one of those things. The sweetness of the leaf is just perfect. Okay, next thing going in, actually, this is the osman basil. This is my one that I was like, oh gosh, how's she gonna do? Now, because this is in such a sad, sorry state, I am not gonna try to separate this. I don't wanna give this plant any more stress. If this was a totally healthy basil, I would go for it without question. But just because I kind of forgot to water it and she's a little sad, I'm gonna cut her some slack. I'm gonna go easy on her. And so we're just gonna pop the whole thing in the ground and baby her along. And in fact, I'm also gonna pinch off that top because my stems are actually now very sturdy, right? But I don't wanna give it a ton of work to do trying to bring nutrients and water to this top, which is super sad and wilty. So we're gonna put this in and we're just gonna see how she does. Cross your fingers for me, folks. Okay, next step, holy basil. This is a really lovely one for tea. It just has a really great energy about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this guy in too. And holy basil tends to get really bushy. And actually there's a couple of them in here too. Ooh, look at that. Dang, that was super easy to split. Hot dog, check that out. Lovely. Gosh, and I really adore this as an herb. Like I said, great tea, beautiful flower, love it. All right, next step. I'm going to plant right about in here a little other amethyst because that one's separated pretty nicely too. Last basil going in for today. This is a Thai basil. It's called Siam Queen. This is one that I'm also going to be splitting into 2 different plants. This is really lovely in all sorts of cooking. I use this one a ton. Great in fresh rolls as well. So let's get that in. Oh, homemade pho. You cannot have homemade pho without this. It's like a rule. It's pretty much a rule. Oh, that is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, friends, that is as far as I'm gonna get today. I'm gonna work on watering everyone in so they get off to a really beautiful start. I hope you have a wonderful day. And in the meantime, please say hello to your garden for me.